Secret Places, Queen Isabella Way, by City of London guide Hazel Beale. The ruined church of Christ Church, Greyfriars, contains a beautiful garden and has a mysterious past, in particular its association with Queen Isabella, the she-wolf of France. The church looks particularly mysterious by moonlight. What ghost is flitting amongst the shadows? Could it be Isabella, the she-wolf of France? Queen Isabella, 1295 to 1358, was a French princess who married Edward II, King of England, in 1308 at the age of 12, and gave birth to the future Edward III at the age of 16. However, Edward II had several male lovers, including Piers Gaveston, who was assassinated in 1312 by Guy de Beauchamp. When Edward began a relationship with Hugh Despenser the Younger, Isabella, with Roger Mortimer, her lover, waged war against her husband and Hugh Despenser. Mortimer was captured and imprisoned in the Tower of London, but he escaped and fled to France, where he was joined by Isabella, and together they launched an invasion against England in 1326, had Despenser executed, and deposed Edward II in 1327. Hugh Despenser the Younger and Edmund Fitzalan were brought before Isabella for trial in 1326, and the pair were gruesomely executed. Isabella and Mortimer watched the execution of Despenser as he was dragged through the streets, then hanged, drawn and quartered. His genitals were cut off and burned, his entrails pulled out, and his heart thrown on fire. His head was stuck on a spike on the gates of London. With Despenser disposed of, the way was clear for Isabella's son, Edward III, to take the throne. Edward III became king at the age of 15, with Isabella and Mortimer as regents. Edward II died, probably murdered, in Berkeley Castle in 1327. Isabella and Mortimer were regents until 1330, when Edward III had Mortimer executed at Tyburn, and Isabella placed under house arrest. Isabella was later freed and lived in Castle Rising, Norfolk, with minstrels, horses and huntsmen. Her son, Edward II, and grandchildren often visited her there. She left most of her property to her grandson, Edward the Black Prince. In her final years, she became a nun with the Poor Clares. She died on 22nd of August 1358 in Hertford Castle, aged 63. Isabella's body was brought to London for burial at Christ Church, Greyfriars, when it was twice as big as the size of the ruined Christopher Wren Church we see today. The church was attached to a Franciscan monastery, hence Greyfriars. Margaret of France, second wife of Edward I, was also buried there, as was the heart of Eleanor Provence, wife of Henry III. Isabella was buried in her wedding clothes with Edward's heart, which had been removed and placed in a silver container when he was buried in Gloucester Cathedral in 1327, on her breast. So this small street sign near St Paul's Underground Station hides the secret of a turbulent phase in English history, when a beautiful, passionate and ambitious woman held the destiny of the country in her hands.